In concise terms, far from my speciality, I was involved in a drastic road traffic accident. This involved a painstaking journey of recovery, which imbued me with the confidence to be able to have this painstaking journey of recovery, to regain the confidence to be happy in myself again. So I had to learn that me, alongside 4 of my friends, were mown down beside a road in a main road in North London. This was in the early hours of New Year's Day 2010, whilst en route to one of our friends' houses, as we intended to celebrate some more. Alas. It triumphs as by far the most devastating piece of news that I've ever had the misfortune to have to be related. But I tell you, even without the tremendous grief, the experience of regaining consciousness after being comatose for circa 3 months is a lot worse than the worst hangover I could ever have got. So, okay, I'd evolved a long way from the kid who probably wouldn't say boo to a goose, and without overly glamorising the past too much, I was just having so much fun in my third and should have been final year at my English and politics degree at university. I was just so excited about my future. The idea that somehow I'd find the fortitude to be able to sustain being literally smashed into pieces. 33 pieces of titanium hold together my masterfully reconstructed left jawline in itself. It's just not an idea that I would have even entertained. I was always pretty squeamish, still am. I hate blood and gore and all that. Can't stand it, but when the chips are down, I suppose. So, but I think I describe my situation as a paradox. That between me being inadvertently placed within the most destitute of circumstances, yet somehow having the fortune that I was able to do some rewiring. Because I was described using that vile, overly medicalised sounding term of post-morbid. I didn't die. But the successes were ironically down to me actually being in the right place at the right time throughout my recovery, after so obviously being within the all too wrong place at the wrong split second when the accident occurred. My really close friends, Carrie and Chelsea, tragically died, and I was the worst affected survivor. This entailed 18 months of intensive neuro-rehabilitation through the Royal London in Whitechapel, the Homerton University Hospital's RNIU in Hackney, East London, and then to the QEF, the Queen Elizabeth Foundation in Banstead, Surrey, which I could depart in the summer of 2011. So finally, I was on my way to regaining that key to the door, I'm a sucker for a cliche, that had been so cruelly snatched. But it's never what happens. This was only just after having turned 21, really, so recently. But it's never what happens, it's how you deal with it. Just regardless of how fantastically I was cared for throughout the situation and the fantastic treatment I got, I couldn't help but feeling like the innocent inmate of a prison. It's not funny. And just the very idea of me ever being asked to give a TED talk on confidence would have just seemed so outlandish in itself, particularly as the gravity of my situation gradually became clear, succeeding my hibernation, and it bled through the fog of my brain, of my hospital bed, really. But yeah, because I find confidence in itself to be a pretty intimidating word. It jars to me as something quite threatening. To any, especially to any half-respecting Brit, you think, ooh, it's not quite. I don't do that. But then through my injury, I came to realise that it is so imperative to have. And it means accepting ourselves and the fact that really we're all just treading water in this life, aren't we, to a large degree? And I'm slightly suspicious of anyone without the confidence to embrace that. And you just got with celebrating the fact that I think things could always be better and they could always be worse. That's just the way it is. So, never lauding it above anybody is integral to your own confidence. I mean, I was completely dependent. I couldn't even clean my teeth. Watching me try and eat with a knife and fork would have been quite a spectacle. I just couldn't do it. And I wasn't even soberly house trained, if I'm honest, which isn't a barrel of laughs. So I did need to have to relearn, how to do even the most basic things. And really, it's the absence of a superiority complex that is just so integral to being able to do this. And it was how I was able to regain the confidence to do even the most basic things again and make progress. So I think really what I'm trying to get out of this is we've got to have the confidence to appreciate our powerlessness. And in closing, really, I suppose I'll just go with old William Morris, because we all must have a leaf print after all, and his sentiment that really the only real way to keep yourself contented in this life and to get by, I think, is to be as interested as you can in everything, because through that, you have the confidence, you have the right, you can have your own opinions and judgments and respect them. Because I think, because being able to do so with the independence of thought from what other people think, that has to be the ultimate goal in life for us all, right? But really, I think as long as you don't take yourself too seriously, you'll be all right. Because I think, to me, one of the most liberating things that I found was my own insignificance. Because through that, I could almost live in the solace of, I don't have to prove myself or do this or do that. Just be happy, being what I am, and not having to sit and validate yourself. It's only through this that I managed to get my 2-1 from university in 2013, just 2 years. Well, no, that's a lie. 3 years after my accident, and through this, because I think my journey has all been about having the confidence and humility to be myself. Thank you.